correlation is to be seen, right?
Yes.
And what exactly happens during that time, we already discussed yesterday, isn't it, Nana?
Yes, sir.
So now this chain of electrons flow, if you take, you just imagine that this is inner membrane of mitochondria. For example, this is mitochondrion, inner membrane, infolding is called crystal corona. So this part is the region where electron carriers present, causing accumulation of protons first here. So this part is what I'm showing here now. Got it? If this is the part I have shown here, what is on this side you assume?
Matrix.
This side of the membrane means this side, Nana.
Perimitochondrial space.
Intermembrane space. Or perimitochondrial space. This side is. And what is on this side, Nana?
Matrix.
Mitochondrial matrix. So the electron carriers are present here. Where are NADH and FADH2 present? In the matrix. Which you got from glycolysis there, link step there, Krebs cycle also there. Here, isn't it, Nana? So this is membrane of cristae region, nothing but inner membrane. If it is inner membrane, the structure of it, you know it very well, like any other membrane, bilipid layer, it has the electron carriers in this. How are they located is to be seen. How many types of electron carriers I told you yesterday? Two types. One kind are complexes called 1, 2, 3, 4, which are fixed in the membrane. The other kind are mobile electron carriers. Isn't it, Nana?
Yes.
So this let us take this as complex 1. C1, I'm showing it as. Which has several iron sulfur centers also associated with FMN, flavin mononucleotide. Several iron sulfur center, that's why iron sulfur in the brackets N. Several such centers in the complex 1. Then followed by should be complex 3, which has only one iron sulfur center in addition to
Third complex.
complex 3. Complex 1 is followed by complex 3, Nana, fixed in the membrane. It has cytochrome B6, C1, then one iron sulfur center. Nana. Okay, Nana?
Yes.
So this is inner membrane of mitochondria. So complex 3 is associated with cytochrome B6 in between one iron sulfur center. Only one iron sulfur center. That's why you don't find in the brackets with N mark into mark. Then cytochrome C1. Which are part of complex 3. Then complex 2. See, complex 2 followed by, 3 followed by 2. Arranged here, it is not exactly this order, Nana. Flow of electrons wise, we are arranging them. Each of them can be anywhere in the membrane, but steps occurring in this order only. That's why we are arranging them in that order. Complex 2 has 2 iron sulfur centers, then FAD. Iron sulfur centers are 2 in this. So you can write it as 2. Here 1, here many. That's why N number we wrote. A coenzyme of this is FAD. Then complex 4. Fixed, these are electron carriers in a fixed state. And of course, electrons flow of these is coupled to ATP synthesis by complex 5. In which 2 parts you see F0 embedded in the membrane, F1 projected into the matrix side. It is complex 5. Related to oxidative phosphorylation. In between, mobile carriers are there, ubiquinone between complex 1 and 3. Mobile carrier also between complex 2 and 3. Then another mobile carrier, cytochrome C, on the outer side, but on the surface of the membrane, freely mobile between 2 and 4. Between 3 and 4. It's a mobile carrier. That's why we show it in 2 places. Cytochrome C1 is different. Cytochrome C is different, Nana. So 4 complexes fixed in the membrane, 2 mobile carriers. One is ubiquinone, another is cytochrome C. Ubiquinone is carrier between 1 and 3, also 2 and 3. Complex 5, which is otherwise called ATP synthase. F0, F1. Okay. Now, what's going to happen? Let us see. When NADH plus H plus is oxidized by complex 1 into NAD plus. 2 electrons of it go to FMN part. Then to iron sulfur. From there to ubiquinone. See. While transferring electrons to ubiquinone, complex 1 itself will gather 4 protons from matrix to intermembrane space. By who, Nana? Complex 1. When? While transferring electrons to ubiquinone. So ubiquinone accepting those 2 electrons will actually become UQH2, reduced form, with those electrons and protons from here. Then will undergo oxidation by transferring 2 electrons. To whom? Complex 3. Protons released into the matrix side again. Complex 3, while transferring electrons to cytochrome C, in association with ubiquinone, no, will gather 4 more protons from matrix to intermembrane space. Then electrons are passed on to cytochrome C, which is a mobile carrier. And this cytochrome C will pass on the same 2 electrons because mobile from here to here on the intermembrane space side. Transfer the same 2 electrons to complex 4, which has cytochrome A, cytochrome A3, no iron sulfur, plus 2 copper centers designated as CuA, Cub. So electrons from cytochrome C passed on to complex 4, that too through copper A to complex A. Sorry, cytochrome A. Then to cytochrome A3. Then to copper center B. Then the same 2 electrons are here at the end, added to oxygen, half O2. To form water in presence of 2 protons. See, Nana, what is happening here? Oxygen requirement is at the end of the process, terminal stage. For every 1 NADH we supply, you are going to get 1 water by 2 electrons of that passed on to oxygen. And of course, 2 protons from the matrix to form 1 water molecule. During this time, while transferring electrons through them, complex 4 also gathers 4 more protons, Nana. Out of the 4, 2 will be added to oxygen, 2 coupled with these. are accumulated in the intermembrane space. Tell me now, total for one NADH undergone oxidation, how many protons removed from stroma means 12 protons removed, Nana, literally. But out of 12 protons removed, how many actually accumulated there? 10. What happened remaining 2? Used up for water formation.
Sir, what did you write in complex 4? Can you read it once?
Complex 4 is with copper center A, cytochrome A, cytochrome A3, copper center B, CuB. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, Nana?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what happens is, so for one NADH undergone oxidation, how many protons accumulated here? 10 accumulated. How many removed from the matrix means? 12.
2 protons.
Removed is 12, but accumulated is only 10. Because what happened remaining 2, which were added to oxygen with the help of same 2 electrons to form water. I'll comment score. So, see Nana. Now, what is the fate of these 10 protons which are accumulated here? Close the door. Thank you. So, 10 protons with the help of complex 5, it is otherwise called ATP synthase. What's going to happen, you know? F0 part of it is embedded in the membrane will cause facilitated diffusion, transport of those protons back into matrix. While transferring every 3 protons into the matrix back, it will cause rotation of F1 part that will generate power, which is good enough to form an ATP. By combining ADP with inorganic phosphate. This part is actually, Nana, we call it as oxidative phosphorylation, is this part. Remaining part is electron transport system. Understood why it is called so? Oxidative phosphorylation. Phosphorylation is actually this part. It is linked to whom, Nana? It is coupled with the electrons flow which facilitated accumulation of 10 protons here. So these 10.
Excuse me, sir, can you move the camera a little?
Yeah, a little left, Nana. Okay. That's better. Is it okay now? కనిపిస్తుందా నాన్న ఇప్పుడు?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, Nana, for one NADH undergone oxidation, how many protons we have accumulated there? 10. Every 3 will form an ATP. If so, how many ATPs are you likely to get?
3 ATPs.
3 ATPs. 10th proton also will flow out, but its energy is of no use. It is not enough to form another ATP. So it is wasted, Nana. It is not that 10th is going to accumulate there up till it becomes again 3. If it accumulates that way, you can get one more for every 3 NADH. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, literally, what you noticed was for one molecule of NADH plus H plus undergone oxidation, how much oxygen we supplied, Nana? Half O2. We got NAD plus, then 3 molecules of ATP. Then how much water, Nana? 1 molecule of water. That is the net result. If it is so, how many NADH molecules we have like that? 2 from glycolysis, 2 from link step, 6 from TCA cycle. So total 10 NADH for 1 glucose, isn't it, Nana?
Yes, sir.
So if it is for 1 glucose, you calculate 10 molecules of NADH plus H plus, requiring how much oxygen in that case? 5 molecules of O2 I am writing. Instead of 10 half O2, I am writing 5 O2 will be oxidized into same 10 NAD plus, then
30 ATP.
30 molecules of ATP, then how much
10
water?
H2O.
10 molecules of water. The next question is, what else are going to take part in ETS? FADH2 also. Where from you got FADH2, Nana? Remember which step was yielding as FADH2? Third oxidation of TCA cycle. That is succinic acid to fumaric acid time. The electrons, protons of it are transferred to, tell me, whom?
Fumaric acid.
AD. When succinic acid undergone third oxidation to give rise to fumaric acid, the electrons and protons of it were passed on to whom, Nana? FAD to form FADH2. And FADH2 is part of complex 2. That is nothing but succinic dehydrogenase. If you can recollect from what I told you yesterday. What was specialty of succinic dehydrogenase? I told you, Nana, 2 specialties it has got. One, it is with competitive inhibitor malonate. Remember. 2, the only enzyme of TCA cycle not freely present. It is there fixed in
Inner mitochondrial membrane.
inner membrane of mitochondrion. So complex 2 is nothing but succinic dehydrogenase, Nana, enzyme.
Yes.
Which is projected towards the matrix side. Projection is towards matrix side. When FADH2 of complex 2 undergoes oxidation, its electrons are passed on to again ubiquinone. The same ubiquinone undergoes reduction into UQH2, then oxidation to donate electrons to cytochrome B6. Here onwards, the path is going to be same. Means complex 3 can gather electrons from ubiquinone, that is all right, through ubiquinone, both from complex 1, also from complex 2. That is the point to understand here. It will gather electrons from complex 1 through ubiquinone if substrate is NADH. Got it, Nana?
Yes, sir.
The same can gather electrons even from complex 2 also through ubiquinone if substrate is FADH2, which is part of succinic dehydrogenase. So that was actually getting from succinic acid. In which case, from complex 3 onwards, path is going to be same. If so, tell me, Nana, how many protons can it accumulate here? As usually 4 here, 2 here. If substrate is FADH2, can it associate with complex 1? No. So complex 1 is skipped. If complex 1 is skipped, these 4 protons cannot be gathered. So in which case you notice gathering of 6 protons only. Got it, Nana?
No, sir.
It is not that easy, beta. Just look at carefully. If substrate is NADH, the path is this way. If substrate is FADH2 that we got from succinic acid, the path is this way, simply. In which case, complex 1 has nothing to do. Understood?
Yes, sir.
If complex 1 is not involved, rest is same. You get only 6 protons accumulation. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Reason is complex 3 associated with 4 accumulation, complex 4 with 2 accumulation, complex 1 is with 4 more. But if it is FADH2, complex 1 is not related to that. So you get only 6 protons. If it is NADH2, complex 2 has no role. For NADH, the path is complex 1, ubiquinone, complex 3, cytochrome C, complex 4. If it is FADH2, complex 2, ubiquinone, complex 3, then cytochrome C, then complex 4. Better we make a point, Anna. So the path for NADH is here. The path of electrons is NADH plus H plus 2 complex 1, 2 ubiquinone, 2. Tell me, Nana, from ubiquinone to complex 3, 2 cytochrome C, 2 complex 4, 2 water. Oxygen, half water you say. Understood this now? NADH to complex 1 to ubiquinone to complex 3 to cytochrome C to complex 4 to oxygen. Electrons flow. If substrate is NADH. Understood, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Be careful. Have you followed this, Nana? If substrate is NADH in ETS, path is this. First, NADH electrons gone to complex 1, from there to ubiquinone, from there to complex 3, from there to cytochrome C, from there to complex 4, from there to oxygen. Finished. You tell me now, if it is FADH2 substrate, Then complex 2, ubiquinone. Complex 3, cytochrome C. Complex 4, 2-oxygen. Followed, Nana?
Yes.
So, if substrate is NADH, is complex 2 involved in that?
Yes, sir.
If substrate is NADH, is complex 2 involved anywhere?
No, sir.
No. If substrate is FADH2, is complex 1 involved anywhere?
No.
No, sir.
No, that is the thing. Complex 2 alone cannot gather protons. Complex 1 alone could gather 4 protons. So that's going to make a difference. From complex 3 onwards, same for both. Complex 3 to oxygen, path is same. But up to complex 3, is it from NADH? If so, complex 1, ubiquinone. Is it from FADH2? If so, complex 2, ubiquinone. That is the difference. So the other path for FADH2, the path is the path of electrons is. Tell me, Nana. FADH2, tell me from there.
Ubiquinone.
Yeah. Complex 2, which is part of FADH2. FADH2 of complex 2. 2, ubiquinone. Then
Complex 3.
3. Then
Cytochrome C.
Then
Complex 4.
half.
Oxygen.
So for FADH2, what you have not seen is complex 1. For NADH2, what you have not seen is complex 2.
Complex 2.
That's what. So if it is FADH2, how many protons accumulate on this intermembrane space?
6
6
protons.
electrons.
Only, yes. So I'll write that here now. For one FADH2 substrate undergone oxidation, we provide as usually half O2. So this becomes FAD. Then how many ATPs are you likely to get for each FADH2? Because 6 protons, how many?
2 ATP.
That's it. But in terms of water production, no difference. Each molecule will end up as a water. And like that, we have only 2 molecules of FADH2 from TCA cycle. So how much oxygen you need to supply? 1 molecule become 2 FAD. Then how many ATPs it comes to? 4. How much water it comes to? Got it, Nana? So this is one thing related to FADH substrate. I mean, for 1 glucose, this should be. For 1 glucose, with the help of FADH2, you get 2 more water molecules and 4 ATPs.
Sir, can you move the camera a little back?
Oh, it's not. మొత్తం రావట్లేదు అన్న బాటం రావట్లేదా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All, if you look just at a time, no, it looks like so much confusing. But you go with an order, no, that's important. For one glucose by ETS, how many ATP is the total you are getting, Nana? 34. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
30 from NADH alone, 4 from FADH2. Then how many water molecules you got at the end?
12 water molecules.
How much oxygen is supplied?
6 molecules of oxygen.
Now you see overall equation for respiration. C6H12O6 glucose. We supplied how much oxygen? 6O2 plus also 6H2O will give us 6CO2, 12H2O, then 686 kilocalories energy. That is the overall equation for aerobic respiration. We generally show it. You have seen already where is the glucose involved. That was in the beginning, first step of glycolysis. So done. And you have also seen where 6O2 are consumed. Understood, Nana? Where 6O2 consumed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
5O2 while oxidizing NADH. 1O2 while oxidizing FADH2. So this is also done. Then 6 CO2, where are they released? You know, out of 6, 2 were from link step, 4 were from TCA cycle. Gurtunda Nana, could you recall it? 2 from link step released for 1 glucose. 4 from TCA cycle released. So that is confirmed. You have also seen where are 12 water molecules formed? 10 from NADH oxidation, 2 from FADH2 oxidation. So where is water formed? Clear to you? Where is CO2 released? Clear to you? Where is oxygen consumed? Clear to you? Oxygen consumption is in the final step of aerobic respiration, terminal. And where is glucose used also? You have seen. Only thing not clear for you is where are 6H2Os used? Isn't it, Nana?
Yes, sir.
So that calculation is shown in different ways by different scientists, so there's no clarity exactly, but it is consuming 6 water molecules. Let us also go with the same.
Sir, once can you give quick revision of ATS cycle?
Definitely, beta, I will. It is not easy to follow. I'm going to explain to you. And I have shown all in one page. Reason is if I do it separately, then you get confused. All at one place, you can easily make out. You get clarity.
Yes, sir.
First tell me, Nana, what is the substrate of electron transport system I told you?
NADH,
And also,
FADH.
perfect. If NADH is substrate for the process, product is different. And if FADH2 is the process, product is different. Product in sense amount of the ATPs. That is the difference because of protons accumulated, making a difference. Okay. All of you listen once again, Nana. When NADH undergone oxidation, electrons are passed on to FMN part, then iron sulfur center of complex 1. Then complex 1 donates the same to electrons to ubiquinone. While donating to ubiquinone, will gather 4 protons from stroma to intermembrane space. Okay? Then electrons from ubiquinone passed on to complex 3. When these electrons are passing through different component of complex 3, will gather 4 more protons from stroma to intermembrane space. So electrons of it are accepted by who? Cytochrome C, which is a mobile carrier. Like ubiquinone mobile, this is also mobile. Ubiquinone reaching the complex 4 will transfer the electrons to complex 4 and passing through copper center, cytochrome A, A3, copper center B will gather 4 more protons. But out of the 4 gathered, 2 are added to oxygen along with the electrons to form water, and 2 only are accumulated here. So net result for us is, for 1 NADH as substrate, 10 protons accumulated, 1 water molecule you got. Clear, Nana? Understood better?
Yes, sir.
If it is NADH substrate, this part you should not consider, Nana. This will confuse you. So from here, the electrons flow ending with water. That's what I showed here. The path of electrons is NADH to complex 1 to ubiquinone to complex 3 to cytochrome C to complex 4 to oxygen. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Then if FADH2 is the substrate, we start with complex 2, which is nothing but succinic dehydrogenase, Nana. That was gathering 2 hydrogens from here, which are added to FAD part of it. So complex 2 will again do the same thing, transfer its electrons to ubiquinone and from ubiquinone to complex 3. Complex 3 onwards, same. That is cytochrome C mobile, then complex 4, then to oxygen. In which case, you can find only 6 protons accumulated here. That is, with the help of complex 3, 4, and with the help of complex 4, 2. If FADH2 is the substrate, complex 1 role is not there. If NADH is the substrate, complex 2 role is not there. Whatever is the substrate, electrons to complex 3 are essentially via ubiquinone. So ubiquinone is transferring electrons between complex 1 and 3, also between 2 and 3. That is the speciality of ubiquinone. Understood, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Still any doubts? Tell me, Nana. This once again discuss tomorrow also. Still any doubts? Tell me better. Time is there. Nothing to worry. For 1 glucose through FADH, we get 4 ATPs. For 1 glucose through NADH, we get 30 ATPs. So for 1 glucose by electron transport system linked oxidative phosphorylation, we get 34 ATPs. See, Nana, 2 blocks. If substrate is FADH2, the path is different. If substrate is NADH plus H plus, the path is different.
Sir, how are the remaining 4 ATP earned?
Remaining 4 ATPs, remember Nana? You are getting 2 from TCA cycle by SLP, substrate level phosphorylation. And you are also getting 2 net gain from glycolysis by SLP. Remember, we have 2 ATPs net gain from glycolysis. We also have 2 ATPs net gain from TCA cycle, but those were by SLP, substrate level phosphorylation. Balance sheet of ATPs when we make at the end, that time we discuss about that, which is not there now.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Tell me beta if anyone has doubts. This is just to mention overall equation for aerobic respiration. If it is FADH2, path is this way, then only 6 protons, then only 2 ATPs. If it is from here, path is this way, then 10 protons, then you get 3 ATPs. Simple calculation is concerned. That is in accordance with chemiosmotic hypothesis that I'll discuss tomorrow better. Now, done all of it, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Purely terminology point of view. If I call complex 1 as NADH oxidase, am I right? Yes, Nana. Because it is this which caused oxidation of NADH. Same, if I call it as ubiquinone reductase, yes, because it has reduced ubiquinone by transferring electrons to this. Removing electrons is oxidation, adding electrons is reduction. So you can call complex 1 as NADH oxidase or ubiquinone reductase or NADH ubiquinone oxidoreductase. 3 names it is called with, Nana. Got the concept involved in that? Understood, Nana? Complex 1 can be called NADH oxidase because it caused oxidation of NADH. That can also be called ubiquinone reductase because it has reduced ubiquinone by donating electrons. You can as well call it NADH ubiquinone oxidoreductase. Now, complex 3, suppose if I call it ubiquinone oxidase, am I right, Nana? No, not followed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it can be. And suppose if I call complex 3 as cytochrome C reductase.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I can call complex 3 as ubiquinone cytochrome C oxidoreductase. Then, if I call complex 4 as cytochrome C oxidase, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Copper in mineral nutrition, when we were discussing, we mentioned this point, Nana. This
Redox reaction,
cytochrome C
like
oxidase,
iron.
but part of complex 4. Understood, Nana? I see iron in how many electron carriers you have seen? Almost all except complex 4 and complex 5. It was there in complex 1, complex 2 and complex 3 electron carriers. And in fact, C1 cytochrome A, A3. Oh, here also Nana, complex 4 also has iron. But sulfur is not there. Sulfur containing, or you can say complex 1, 2, 3. Iron containing, or complex 1, 2, 3 and 4 also. They are all essentially with cytochromes in them. Followed, Nana? Go through once. Till if you have any doubts, you can ask me tomorrow also, Nana. We have time tomorrow also. It is not that easy to follow.
Sir, once can you repeat names of complex 3?
Complex 3 can otherwise be called ubiquinone oxidase or cytochrome C reductase or ubiquinone cytochrome C oxidoreductase.
Thank you.
Okay. Tomorrow we continue with the same, Nana. Go through once. If there are any doubts, you can ask. Not that easy to understand. Once again, I am telling you, unless you are very careful. Done, Nana? All of you?
Sir,
Yeah, tell me better.
sir, what are functions of F0 and F1 particles in complex 5?
F0 will facilitate protons channeling. And when protons channeled with the help of their energy, F1 rotates. When F1 rotates, it combines ADP with inorganic phosphate to form ATP. This part we are going to discuss tomorrow, Nana, under heading chemiosmotic hypothesis. It operates like how you see in a hydroelectric project. As the water flows down, turbines rotate. Understood? Rotation turbine generates power, which is tapped. And that power here tapped for ATPs, Nana. Understood better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll discuss that separate heading there, chemiosmotic hypothesis. Okay, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I close it, Nana? Done, all of you? We'll discuss tomorrow again. Don't worry, but go through carefully today, Nana. Neat point of view questions can be in so many ways. You should be very careful. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
closing.
sir.
Okay, Nana, I'm closing it, right?
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, Nana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.